I absolutely felt a shift this morning. And no, I'm not talking about woo-woo, quantum leaping. No, a very strong shift this morning. It's more like I have been reprogramming myself by showing up every single day for myself, no matter what, and reminding myself every day how we are showing up for ourselves every single day. And it's almost like this morning, my brain finally just accepted this is what we're doing now. And this is who we are now. We are someone who is going to show up for ourselves every single day. We are going to be doing XYZ every single day. So instead of fighting it, let's just go with it. Let's just roll with it. To me, when people do talk about manifesting and quantum jumping, this is what they're really talking about. It's that sudden clicking in your mind and that complete just change in your perspective. One of my favorite books out there is The Road Less Traveled. It was a #1 best-selling book for like 12 years, I think, and it was on the best-selling book list for a reason. Now, in this book, it talks about your map. And we create these maps, basically they're like our story that we tell ourselves and that we've been telling ourselves of who we are. And it's not necessarily who we are, it's just sort of this accumulation of who we've identified with and identified as up until now. And sometimes the map that we created for ourselves doesn't serve us anymore, and we need to get rid of the map, and we need to change the map, we need to update the map. Think of it like trying to use a 1980s paper map for your town instead of using an updated map to get around. Your town has probably changed a lot since the 80s, and you really need an updated map, or you're probably gonna end up hitting a dead end, or worse, extremely lost. Either which way, we're not getting to our destination, are we? So just like with physical maps for navigating around town, we have to update and upgrade our mental maps of who we are. Because what served me best 10 years ago is not gonna serve me well now. I don't know about y'all, but I'm living in a very different space than I was 10 years ago. I'm in a different town, I'm in a different state, and I'm in a completely different phase of my life. If I operate the same way that I did 10 years ago, that is not going to serve me. There are a few things from 10 years ago that of course I'm still gonna operate on. Some of the things that I like doing, enjoy doing, hobbies and things that I care about. But as for the day-to-day of how my life actually operates and who I wanna be and how I wanna be, 10 years ago me and me now we're not compatible. We're not compatible. Like I said, I'm in a different stage of my life. So if you're operating off of a map from 10, 20, 30 years ago, maybe even longer, it is time to update that map. And to me, that is what quantum jumping is you're just updating your map. Because if you start trying to put the information into your brain of who you want to become, and this can be as small or as big of a thing as you want it to be. It's your life. It's your life. Why not make it exactly how you want it to be? In my case, I asked myself, what would be my perfect day? Every single day, what would be my perfect day? What goals do I want to reach? What things do I want to accomplish every single day so that I feel like I actually had a really good, fulfilling day? What things do I need to accomplish in a day to feel like I am really living my best life? And I really looked at all the different areas. What do I want my family life to look like? What do I want my daily routines to look like? What kind of scheduling do I want as far as getting my chores done? How much time do I want to make sure that I spend with my animals, with my child, with my husband? How much time do I want to spend just working on improving myself with things like exercise? What do I want my diet to look like? And how much time do I want to devote to my business every day? What is that going to look like? These are all different questions that I had to look at and really think about. What kind of self-care do I need to feel like I'm actually looking out for myself. And a lot of people think of self-care as just taking a bath, but it doesn't have to be that. It can be something like going for a walk. That is self-care. And it doesn't even have to be alone. That could be going for a walk with your dog, going for a walk with your family. But as we start to do these things and teach our brain that every day we are going to start showing up for ourselves, something is going to eventually click. Something is going to start changing. So for me this morning, normally I really struggle trying to get out of bed. Normally I'm hitting that snooze button over and over again. But last night before I went to bed, I was like, you know what? I want to get up early. I want to shower first thing instead of waiting until last minute. Before I get the kid up, before everything starts turning a little bit chaotic in the morning. What if instead of rushing through getting showered and ready, what if I got up before everybody else and had that time all to myself with no one else awake? And y'all, it was amazing. Highly recommend. As a mom with a busy, chaotic morning, definitely 10 out of 10, getting up before your kids, if you can, to shower and get ready and have your morning coffee before you start getting anybody up. It is a game changer. Absolute game changer. Will I successfully do this on Monday morning? I don't know, but I did it today and oh my gosh, perfection. Highly recommend if you can do it. So let's get out there today and start changing our mapping. Let's start changing our thinking, our perspective, and start slowly becoming that person that we really, really want to be.